Beneath the saccharine exterior of the chocolate factory lurks a narrative darker than the sweet treats it produces. Today, we plunge into the mystery of Willy Wonka's dark side, because the more we dig, the more questions arise.
Which direction we are going?
Did Wonka meticulously engineer the golden ticket hunt, selecting each child like pieces on a macabre chessboard? Willy Wonka is a peculiar man, exhibiting very odd behavior. He invites 5 kids to visit his factory. Coincidentally, or not, almost all of these children represent the epitome of every negative trait a child could possibly possess, with the exception of one. Upon entering the factory, each room on the tour is a showcase of temptation meticulously designed for every child to succumb. There's a river of chocolate for Augustus, the insatiable boy, a technology laboratory for the tech-obsessed youngster. And as if that wasn't enough, right after the accidents, a highly synchronized group of little beings appears, singing a meticulously rehearsed song about the incident that just occurred. I don't know about you guys, but not even all the chocolate on Earth could have kept me there after witnessing that Oompa Loompa presentation. Now let's connect the dots. It's like a twisted game show, and Wonka's the puppet master pulling all the strings. Ever wondered how, with the whole world on a golden ticket hunt, 5 kids struck gold? Suspicious, don't you think? Considering that adults have way more money to spend. To prove our theory, we'll be focusing on this character, Mr. Wilkinson. We are all aware that Mr. Wilkinson was actually working for Wonka and going undercover as his nemesis, testing the kids to see which one of them would turn against Mr. Wonka. But how was Mr. Wilkinson present at the exact moment those tickets were discovered? He's a waiter at the same restaurant as Augustus, casually washing a car behind Violet, sneakily searching for the golden ticket at Veruca's father's factory, and to top it off, right by Mike's side as a reporter after he clinches a ticket. And yes, he was also present minutes later after Charles found his ticket. It was evident that Wonka knew precisely where to send him or which kid would find the ticket. Remaining in hiding for all those years, he must have devised a way to keep an eye on the outside world. But why would Wonka defraud the ticket hunt? If you rewind a bit, you'll witness the impact of Wonka's inventions on a bunch of kids. They ran to the Candyman in completely wild and desperate behavior. We believe Wonka shut down the factory not only due to the adults' lack of honesty, but also because he realized what the kids were turning into: ungrateful little things. The ones selected for the tour didn't seem to appreciate his work in the right way. He may, wrongly, believe that taking drastic measures, like ending their lives, is a way to rid society of greedy people, or at least teaching them a lesson. Let's revisit the evidence. Augustus doesn't know how to swim, as pointed out by Mom. He starts drowning in chocolate, gets suctioned up by a giant vacuum tube. And the only person who seems unbothered is Wonka, more concerned about his clit than the kid literally sucked into a tube with no air. Priorities, right? Wonka hands Violet a chewy time bomb, claiming it's the most amazing, fabulous, sensational gum ever, fully aware she's a champion gum chewer. Then, as Violet blows up like a balloon, he casually drops, "They all become blueberries." And in his very unbothered tone, he finishes with, "Juice her as soon as possible or she'll just explode." When concerning Violet, why would the egg-decator brand her a bad egg when she's undeniably human, not an egg? And when she plunges down the chute, Wonka skips the heroics, opting for a casual chat with her dad about the garbage routine. You know, the furnace every other day, but who's counting? Wonka's indifference hits a new high when a kid risks life and limb to shrink into a TV. Then he tells an Oompa Loompa, No, I won't hold you responsible." Responsible for what? Murder? Next thing you know, the poor kid is headed for the taffy pulling machine. How could Mike survive that? Now why these specific kids, you may ask? Let's add a pinch of the 7 deadly sins theory, shall we? Augustus, the living definition of gluttony. Veruca, the embodiment of greed. Violet, flaunting pride in her gum-chewing skills. Mike, the personification of wrath. Bang, you're dead. Charlie, nursing a touch of envy. Grandpa Joe, our resident sloth, laid in bed for 2 decades until a golden ticket suddenly turned him into a dancing dynamo. And of course, our man Wonka, well, he's all about that lust. Wonka already knew Charlie was precisely what he was looking for: a chocolate-loving, creative, and brave child with nothing to lose. Someone who could truly appreciate the wonders of his factory. Moreover, unlike the other kids, Charlie was born and raised around the factory, decreasing the chances of him being homesick and wanting to abandon the factory to return home. Wonka handpicked every single kid, ensuring each represented something bad, creating a test to see if Charlie would fall for it too. He wanted to make sure Charlie was the exception, which is why he loses his cool when Charlie drinks the bubble drink. But as it turns out, Wonka was right as Charlie returns the candy, proving himself to be the exceptional one. He did what he had to do for his factory and wasn't affected by the other children's fate because he truly believes in his mission, like the maniac he is. He knows those were really bad kids. Another hint at Willy Wonka's potential serial killer nature is his nonchalant, apathetic reactions to the life-or-death situations of the antagonistic children. The very emotionless warnings before the kids would do something very dangerous, the withholding of crucial information, and the complete lack of worry when the kids were obviously possibly harmed. It seems as if their demise was assumed, as Wonka showed no concern for their well-being. Not convinced yet? Allow me to reveal something even more intriguing. The factory boasts hundreds of rooms, as Wonka states, making it impossible to navigate without an easier means of locomotion, which we assume Wonka had arranged before the kids arrived. However, the vehicles always seem to have the perfect number of seats, even as the number of passengers dwindles. Take the boat after Augustus got sucked in. It didn't have enough seats for him and his mother if nothing had happened to him. The washmobile and the elevator faced a similar issue, lacking enough space. Why would Wonka choose a boat with only 8 seats for a tour with 11 people? Unless everything was just part of his plan. Come on, you can't convince me that all those Oompa Loompas were just reading each other's minds and composing songs that synchronized, which would be also very creepy. And as we never saw those kids getting out of the factory, well, you get your own conclusions. Now, before we wrap up our journey through Wonka's world, let's add another layer of mystery, a theory that transforms Charlie's tale into a darker sequel, revealing him as a genius akin to Wonka himself. Have you ever contemplated the intriguing link between Willy Wonka's chocolate factory and the chilling train ride in Snowpiercer? You may think we are going too far now, but listen. In both films, we witness groups of people traversing through fantastical structures, losing members one by one until only a single survivor remains. The parallels don't end there. We know young Charlie Bucket inherits the chocolate factory and its immense fortune. Fast forward to Snowpiercer, where Curtis Everett emerges as the last survivor, offered the role of caretaker by the enigmatic Wilford. In conclusion, Willy Wonka, a master of isolation and experimental creations, imparts his skills to Charlie. This theory suggests that Charlie, now Wilford Wonka, inherits the factory and transforms it into a self-sustaining train, foreseeing a frozen apocalypse caused by CW7 gas. However, to keep the train self-sustaining, he resorts to extreme measures, including ordering executions and orchestrating revolts to control the population. As Wilford says, anxiety and fear, chaos and horror in order to keep life going. Wilford Wonka incorporates Wonka's approach to finding a successor. Just as Wonka hid golden tickets in his chocolate bars, Charlie adopts a similar strategy, embedding hidden messages in his food. In the chilling world of Snowpiercer, these cryptic messages materialize in the eggs intended for Curtis Everett, mirroring the whimsical and enigmatic traditions established by Wonka in his pursuit of a worthy heir. Don't you think there are way too many coincidences to ignore this theory? Is there another layer to this story that we've missed? Share your thoughts or conspiracies in the comments below. The chocolate factory is open for debate.